All right, okay. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Azimi Global Foundation platform. Today we're gonna do a seminar with Dr. Waqar Haider Hashmi on total quality management. So Dr. Waqar Hashmi is a renowned author. He has publications that are published, and he is also a senior management manager at the Fauji Foundation Strategy and Merger. So I would like to invite him today to enlighten us with the total quality management. And I welcome Dr. Waqar Hashmi. Yes, Hashmi sir, you can get started, please. And let me know how you want me to move the slides and stuff, okay?
Okay, you can move on to the next slide.
All right.
So, a brief introduction. I've done PhD in business administration, and 1997, I attended a fellowship of 8 months at the Japan Productivity Center for Socio-Economic Development, where I studied total quality management. And then I came back to Pakistan and joined Pakistan Institute of Management. And I was a faculty member there. And I used to conduct training courses on quality management and also provide consultancy services to many business organizations. And then, due to certain family considerations, I had to move back to Islamabad, where I joined Higher Education Commission of Pakistan. And I was project manager of a national flagship project called Foreign Faculty Hiring Program. Under the auspices of this project, we used to hire foreign professors from all over the world and used to place them at our public sector universities. So it was again a national cause. And then I joined Fauji Foundation. It has been 20 years that I'm serving in Fauji Foundation corporate wing. Fauji Foundation is the largest business conglomerate of Pakistan, with its portfolio investments in many sectors, including fertilizer, oil and gas exploration, power generation. We have oil and grain terminals at Karachi, Port Qasim. And we also have a bank, which is called Askari Bank. And we have also invested in cement sector. Currently, Fauji Cement is Pakistan's number third cement establishment with, and we are aspiring to become Pakistan's number one cement manufacturers. So we lead the fertilizer market. And basically, I've written a book on total quality management. Basic idea is to make the frontline workers in Pakistan understand the essence, the crux of the subject matter. And I have also written impact factor. There are impact factor publications that I have managed to contribute. So I take pride in the fact that I have trained thousands of industrial professionals, and also I have, academic publications. So as a trainer, as a strategist, so many things by the grace of Lord. So if you move on to the next slide. So we will try to be as much objective as possible, abstain from any political or, for that matter, religious discussion. We will focus on the subject matter. And I will really appreciate if you, towards the end, we will try to have a question and answer session. So we'll do that, and then we can interact. But basic idea is to complete the presentation and in 45 minutes, 45 minutes. So I will try to, do that. So next slide, please. So the game plan for today's presentation is that we will in the first stage, we will try to develop a conceptual framework. And then we'll move on to another concept, which made total quality management dynamic. And when, we will discuss how it happened and what is the impact. And if we understand this concept, so we will get the whole idea of total quality management, because the entire framework is based on this concept. And we'll talk about how quality is implemented in organizations. We will cover both tracks, the ISO 9000 model, and also the total quality management, the way Japanese implemented in their organizations. And it is the recommended way to implement quality management. And then we will have question and answer sessions. Okay. Sir, please, the previous slide, if you kindly show the previous slide. So in 1998, when I was serving as a faculty member at Pakistan Institute of Management, I was made to attend a lead auditor course on ISO 9000. It was $1,000 course. And since I was a faculty member, so I attended that course. And this course was conducted by British Standard Institute. And the course director was Mr. Leslie Sutton, who was member of the technical committee number 176, which was responsible for development of ISO standards. And when we were having a introduction session, so Mr. Leslie Sutton, he asked me, Mr. Hashmi, why are you attending this course? And I told him that I had attended a 8-month fellowship on quality management in Japan. And I sincerely felt that the Japanese management systems can be incorporated into ISO 9000. So he did not reply during that session. And but after the course, or the director of Pakistan Institute of Management, he invited him to present to the faculty members of Pakistan Institute of Management what new changes ISO was at that time thinking of incorporating into the system. And when he came and he pointed at me and he said, Mr. Hashmi, you remember during the introduction session, you said that the Japanese management systems can be incorporated into ISO 9000. Actually, we are thinking about doing it. But since they are not approved and I hold a position of authority on the subject matter, so I abstain from making a comment on it. But in year 2000, when they revised the standards, they incorporated Japanese management systems. And this is where ISO 9000 became a comprehensive, reliable, and dependable and dynamic system. So this was the backdrop. And in year 2015, the current standards, they now call them integrated management systems, because initially they had different systems for environmental management system. There used to be ISO 14000, which was the environmental management system. Then occupational health and safety standards were separately developed. But Mr. Leslie Sutton in 1998, he told us that, we can have integrated management systems. Why? To open different windows for environmental management systems or occupational health and safety standards. Why not do it under the same window? So now in 2015, when they have revised the current standards, they now call it integrated management system, in the sense that under one window, you have all the documentation and all the implementation plans for the environmental management systems, occupational health and safety, and the quality management systems. Previously, only ISO 9000 used to be called quality management system. So let's move on to the first slide, the conceptual framework. So the whole concept, it's a very old concept. We at Pakistan Institute of Management, we believe and we hold that management can only be of two types: good management or bad management. So essentially, when we talk about total quality management, we are talking about good management practices. And we will discuss what good management means, actually. So initially, this total quality management used to be called company-wide quality control or total quality control. But later on, and we also know that American Society for Quality Control, it changed its name in year 2000 from American Society for Quality Control to American Society for Quality. So there is a reason, and we will be discussing that reason also. But total quality management is a combination of three words. First, total. Total means made up of whole, or the entire organization, or all the functions of the organization. Total means that quality is for everyone in the organization. It is not for only engineers or people with sophisticated backgrounds. It is for frontline workers, people with limited exposure. So it is also for total is for everyone. And the biggest challenge the chief executive officers of business corporations all over the world they face is to create a single-minded organization with shared purpose and objectives, and everybody is well aware of the purpose and objectives of the organization, and they know how they are contributing towards the achievement of those objectives. So total is a skill how to involve people in this total quality management scheme. So in this total quality management, there are different techniques, the participative management system, and different techniques through which all the workers in the organization, all the employees are involved in the cause of total quality management. Then the second word is quality. There are quality is a relative term. There, every person can have his or her own definition of quality. But we're going to discuss what quality gurus have, the way quality gurus have defined quality. The first definition of quality, which is used by the design engineers, is fitness for use or goodness of fit, which means that product and services should be designed in such a manner that under tough conditions, the designs are so robust that under tough conditions, the product gives ultimate performance. It doesn't fail. So fitness for use is of great concern for design engineers. And then another definition of quality is conformance to requirements or conformance to customer specifications. This definition is used by production engineers, and this definition was introduced by Philip Crosby in his book, Quality is Free. And he maintains that quality is free, but it is not a gift. It is not ice hockey, it is ballet. And he says, when he says quality is free, it means that if we take example of any product, just if you take the example of a cell phone, so we know that there are different, gadgets attached to a cell phone. Its camera, its motherboard, chip, screen. So all these things are manufactured in different factories. So when we purchase a mobile phone, we are not only paying the cost, but also giving profit to the organization. So as you know, quality is there as long as people buy your products or services. So in this regard, quality is free. Okay, and then there is another definition of quality which was introduced by the father of quality management, Dr. Edward Demings. And he said that quality means customer satisfaction. And this is where I got attracted to the concept of quality management, because there are two types of customers. One, the internal customers, and then the external customers. You cannot satisfy external customers unless and until you satisfy internal customers. So when the internal customers are satisfied, then the external customers are satisfied. And when both internal and external customers are satisfied, then the management is satisfied. And this is the way a satisfied society is created. So, the definition which is used by ISO 9000 of quality is, it is the totality of characteristics of an entity that bear on its ability to satisfy stated or implied needs. So there are different ways quality is defined. The third word is management. So there are different definitions of management also. Americans simply say getting things done is management. And then there is a definition of management coined by Harold Kuntz. He used to maintain that creating a conducive environment for a group of people, that is, management is creating a conducive environment for a group of people to achieve their objectives. Then there is another definition that management is the art or science of making good decisions, rational decisions. Management is an art as well as science. It becomes an art when you make a decision based, when you apply empirical approach, when you make a decision based on some past case studies. In government sector, in army, normally they use the empirical approach, and it is mostly management is used as an art, but it becomes a science when you make a projection of future. So because in order to make a projection for future, you need to follow the principle of scientific inquiry, and you have to follow some sort of structure. So then you can project, you can forecast. So in this way, management becomes a science, really becomes a science. The Japanese, they use integrated approach. So they are comprehensive when they talk about total quality management. It covers everything. And in the West, for quality management, a project approach used to be used, but now they have integrated management systems. And these, if you look at this info graph, we have the 7 principles of management recommended by ISO 9000. These used to be 8 principles. There was a principle of scientific management, which has already been incorporated into the model of ISO 9000. And so they have dropped that 8th principle, but it's mainly the customer focus and the involvement or engagement of people. Then they use the process approach, and this is where the concept becomes very dynamic. And process is primarily a mechanism through which inputs are converted or transformed into outputs. And Peter F. Drucker once said that management is not feeding materials to machines. but it is applying logic to work. So this process approach discovers that the logic part. Then we have evidence-based decision making, so factual decision making pattern, and we will be discussing how the factual dimensions are incorporated into the whole scheme. Then the relationship management is Japanese call it keiretsu. They call it keiretsu because they have very good relationship with their suppliers. So having good relationships with suppliers is a cornerstone of quality management. Then improving means continuous incremental improvement. The Japanese, they call it Kaizen, and this approach, continuous incremental improvement, is the main thing where the whole thing flows. Then leadership. Leadership means the commitment of the top management should be there. So you cannot implement quality management if the management is not committed. I remember that once some National Bank of Pakistan, their management, they approached me and they asked me whether this concept of total quality management can be implemented in the bank. So I told them that if you people are committed, the top management is committed, yes. But if you are not committed, then it will be very difficult. So these are the 7 principles, and we'll be again, discussing these later on in the presentation. Sir, if we move on to the next slide, please. So the whole model of ISO 9000 and quality management is based on this definition of management, which was introduced by Professor Kaoru Ishikawa of Tokyo University. And you will see how the whole concept is, dependent on this. Management is maintenance plus Kaizen. Maintenance means keeping performance under control, within bounds. You cannot improve unless you maintain a particular level of performance over a period of time. So you maintain a level of performance over a period of time, and when you achieve a degree of confidence, then you can further improve that level of performance, take it to the next level through Kaizen, which is continuous incremental improvement. Kaizen is a combination of 2 words. Kai means change and Zen means good. So it is the most commonly used term in Japan. Kaizen means always looking for better ways of doing things. Today better than yesterday, and tomorrow better than today. So this is the spirit, and through which this maintenance and Kaizen, and then when you achieve a new level of performance, you have to maintain it. There is a bit of turbulence initially, but after some time, you control the things and you maintain a new level of performance, and then you bring improvement in it, and then you maintain it, and this process keeps on going. So now we will discuss how maintenance is done and then Kaizen is achieved. In the next slide, please. If you, sir, kindly move on to the next slide. So if we know that management is maintenance and Kaizen, then who are the people responsible for maintenance and Kaizen? The answer is the top management is primarily responsible to bring improvement in the overall system of the organization. They also participate in the maintenance activities, but their level of responsibility is lower as compared to the frontline workers who are mainly focus on the maintenance part. And they also participate in the improvement part, but their level of responsibility is much lower than the top management. Next slide, please. So this is generating total quality management with Kaizen. This has been taken from Mr. Motomu Baba, who was my supervisor at Japan Productivity Center, and he has written a book on generating TQM with Kaizen. And this concept was later on, taken up by Mr. Masaki Imai, who wrote the first book on Kaizen, and he was deeply moved with this concept. And now the total quality management system improvements can be made top down and bottom up. The top down system improvement is called system-based improvement because it is implemented on the entire organization. And we use this plan, do, check, act cycle. This PDCA cycle is called, there are different names. It was introduced by Walter Shewhart in 1920s at Western Electric Company, where he was working with Deming to introduce productivity measures to measure the productivity in the organization. And Walter Shewhart was a statistician, so he is also considered as the father of quality management, and he introduced this PDCA cycle. And in year 2000, this PDCA cycle was incorporated into ISO 9000. And this is where the whole concept of quality management becomes dynamic. So in Japan, this PDCA cycle is called the Deming cycle because Dr. Edward Deming, he introduced it in Japan. And later on, when Americans, they said, why did you teach total quality management to Japanese? You did not teach these principles to us Americans. So Dr. Deming, he said that, I tried to teach you this total quality management, but you did not listen to me. And the Japanese, they listened to me and they prospered, taking these concepts along. And the second part is the bottom-up part, in which is called the Gemba-based Kaizen or the shop floor-based Kaizen. Japanese, they consider the shop floor as the most important place in the organization because it is where the value is created. So they are very particular about it. And, for us, if we are having this webinar right now, this interface we are using is our Gemba. It is where we are adding value. So first, when we started our presentation, we checked. The cycle started with check, act, plan, do. So we checked if the system is working fine for the participants. And then if there was any problem, we acted and rectified the problem. But then now we will plan that if there was any problem, it should not happen again. So plan, do, check, act cycle starts from there on. So it starts with check, act, but later on, the plan, do, check, act cycle starts with that. The top management, they are responsible for policy formulation. Middle management, they bridge the gap between frontline management and the top management, and they make action plans. This is where the cross-functional teams work. At the top level, there is a TQM steering committee. It is also called TQM Council or Management Review under ISO 9000. And the frontline level, we have suggestion schemes, quality control circles, 5S housekeeping standards, which are used for bringing cleanliness at the workplace. And then it has roots with the total productive maintenance concept and just in time and many other. So it lays a foundation for all the sophisticated total quality management techniques. With Kaizen suggestions, you involve people. Quality circles, again, basic idea is to involve people. So this is the model through which top-down and bottom-up approaches are used to bring improvement in the organization simultaneously at different levels. Sir, next slide. So as Harold Kuntz maintains that there is a management theory jungle out there, in the sense that we have behavioral school of thought, scientific school of thought, psychological school of thought, many school of thoughts in management. And then even if we look at quality management, there are many systems like ISO 9000, Six Sigma, quality function deployment, designs of experiments, Kaizen, just in time, 5S housekeeping standards. But, you know, total quality management has a structure. So this structure should be followed. As long as this structure is there, then in real sense, you have a real quality management structure to support your cause. The quality management has two dimensions. The first dimension is quality assurance, and the other dimension is quality improvement. Again, it is linked to the definition of management. We saw earlier that management is maintenance and Kaizen. And maintenance and Kaizen, they are not contradictory to each other, they complement each other. So quality assurance is the degree of confidence you have in your system. And quality improvement, you continuously, you strive to bring improvements in your organization. This quality assurance has two dimensions. The standards, the quality management standards, like ISO or the product standards. So they are included. Then quality control is the process. It focuses on the process. Quality assurance is a system which gives confidence with the help of quality standards and quality control. In quality control, you focus on the process control. You use statistical process control tools and quality control circles, they participate in it. And it is part of quality assurance. And this is the reason why American Society for Quality Control was renamed as American Society for Quality. Then in quality improvement, we have audits. Audit is the definition of audit is the independent, documented, and structured way of finding objective evidence and to see if the system complies with these standards or not. There used to be first-party internal audits and second-party supplier audits, but with ISO 9000, the third-party audits were also introduced. So this is the contribution ISO 9000 made to quality management, that third-party audits were introduced. And with teams, we have the cross-functional teams, the TQM steering committee, the TQM council at the top, and quality control circles. So you need to have this system in place. No matter any technique, any quality management technique like Six Sigma or quality function deployment or any technique you are using, you need to implement. Even for ISO 9000, this system is there because now their entire model is it depends on quality assurance and quality improvement. Next slides. So the management wheel, we need to understand this management wheel because it is imperative to implement quality management or ISO 9000. It is the main framework on which the entire system is based, and you maintain and you bring improvement through this PDCA cycle. It is also called project approach towards quality management. So the initial plan, do, check, act cycle, even PDCA cycle went through different phases and different improvements were incorporated into it. The initial PDCA cycle was first the plan, and it was the responsibility of the management to do the planning. And workers, they were responsible for the implementation of the plans. And you can see that, the top management is not familiar with the problems and impediments faced by the workers. So there is a communication gap here. So, and then we have, after workers will implement, and then there is another group of people who inspect. So inspectors, they check, and when they realize there was a communication gap, and when they realize that the systems are not in compliance with the plans made by management, then the management action comes into place. But here industrial disputes may arise. So in order to avoid this, the revised PDCA cycle incorporated the check, act, plan, do cycle. So we have the overall plan, do, check, act cycle, and in which for the workers, we have check, act, plan, do cycle. So workers, they also participate in, and this is the common language used in quality management. So if you are forming a policy, you have to follow this plan, do, check, act cycle. The quality circles, when they are working on a theme, they are bringing improvement in their systems, they follow this plan, do, check, act cycle. Even their storylines, their presentations are based on this. And this is a systematic structure which is followed within the organization. At Fuji Foundation head office, when they or companies, they make policies, the documents, they come to me most of the time. And I am disappointed to see that, every policy document is different from the other policy document. And the reason why, because they do not use the same structure. So if they follow this structure, I always recommend to Fuji companies that they should follow this structure, because this will sync with ISO 9000 conventions and also quality management. But somehow, I have not been successful in convincing people that this is something which is important. So you look at the Deming wheel or the Shewhart cycle. Initially, the first is where we say plan. Plan means design the product or service, and design means fitness for use, goodness of fit. Then we have production. In production, conformance to requirements. Then we have sales, customer satisfaction. So all the definitions of management, they have been derived from this. And then you carry out research to develop new products and services. So design, production, sales, and research, this has been now simplified into plan, do, check, act cycle. Next slide, please. So here we have a typical problem-solving cycle with 7 steps in it. The definition of problem. We know that a good definition of problem has 50% solution already in it. So the way, it belongs to the plan part, and we have 5 W, 2 H's in it. What, where, how, when. These are the factual dimensions taken from Rudyard Kipling's when he has a poem for children that I have 5 serving men, what, where, how, and when. So if plan, do, check, act cycle is the assembly language, then what, where, how, when is the machine language. And this is connected with the problem-solving cycle we have here. We say that, ask why 5 times. In order to get to the root cause, you always get to the root cause. You eliminate the root causes, then you can get rid of the main problems. So the first thing is definition of the problem. You incorporate all the 5 W, 2 H's, and you carry out analysis. And here you apply a principle, Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. And you also apply the Ishikawa fishbone diagram here for brainstorming and converting the qualitative data into quantitative data. And then identification of causes. Here we do satisficing, because in real time business environments, we don't have time. We have to respond very quickly. So we satisfice, we apply the one best solution we consider, and we move on. Even though there are better solutions available, but we don't have time, we have to deliver on time. And there is a cycle starts here, that you apply a certain solution and you don't get desired results, then you come back and you rethink. And when problems become difficult, always revert to the basics. So you look at other alternates, and then you find new solutions, and then you implement, unless you get satisfactory results. And once you get satisfactory results, then the next important thing is standardization across the organization. So it is also very important. So this is the common language, this is the common structure which needs to be used all the time. So next slide, please, sir. So when is the best time to implement quality management? And the best time to implement quality management is the time of crisis. When the organization is facing crisis, it is the best time to implement total quality management. Then in organization life cycle, sometimes the organizations need a level where they face entropy. The growth is not coming. So they apply negative entropy. They rejuvenate the system. They modify their system. And this is where quality management plays a key role. So these are the two best times for implementing total quality management or ISO 9000. Normally ISO 9000, organizations which are exporting products, it is necessary for them to have ISO certification. And we know that this ISO 9000, it has roots in military Q standards. And from those military Q standards, British standards were developed. In fact, they took the entire military quality standards verbatim, word to word, and they called them British standards. And from these British standards in 1987, again verbatim, word to word, they copied it, and they said this is international quality standards. This ISO has head offices in Geneva, and it was established in 1947. And basic idea is standardization throughout the world. So in year 2000, they incorporated total quality management plan, do, check, act cycle into ISO 9000, and they restructured the systems. Then in 2008, they revised and simplified the system. But in year 2015, they introduced the integrated management systems, which are based on plan, do, check, act cycle. And now in year 2026, it is expected that ISO will introduce new standards, and they are focusing on the digitalization transformations organizations are going through. And also the issue of sustainability is becoming very relevant these days. Environmental and social governance protocols and conventions. So they are most probably they will going to incorporate these dimensions into the ISO 9000 systems. Next slide, sir. So now they have simplified the ISO 9000 system. They call it integrated management system, and they have simplified into 10 clauses. The first 3 clauses, the scope of quality management system. Second is the normative references, the regulatory rules and regulations, and then the terms and definitions. And then, if you look at this diagram, it is based on plan, do, check, act cycle. The fourth clause is quality management system, in which we have the context of the organization, which covers the suppliers and the regulatory frameworks. And then the fifth clause is leadership. And we know that the commitment of the management, the leadership is very important for implementation of ISO 9000 or quality management, any system. And then we have the planning part in 6. Planning means identifying objectives, targets, and ways to achieve those targets. This is what planning means. And then the support functions, which include HR, marketing, and we all know that the marketing function drives the entire organization. But the core departments are the sales department and the operations departments, because it is where the value is added. And then, support and operations, then there's a system for performance evaluation, the management review, and then you bring improvement in the entire system. And, when the system is mature, the fruits are reaped by the customers, that they get good quality products and services. And so you can see that even the ISO's quality management system is based on plan, do, check, act cycle. So it is very important. I'm emphasizing on it again and again, because in 1998, when I came back from Japan, even then I was, advocating this PDCA, introducing it to many organizations. And, and then in year 2000, this plan, do, check, act cycle was, became part of it. And now the entire model is based on plan, do, check, act cycle. Next slide, sir. So in ISO 9000, we say that we document whatever we do, and we do whatever we have documented. So the documentation part shows the intent of the management. And then the implementation, whether we are implementing our systems in line with the intent of the management or not. And the third part is effectiveness of the systems. In Pakistan and third world countries, in ISO, the compliance audits are still, going on, because these organizations somehow, they don't reach a level of maturity in the sense that, they bring improvement in the system, but they don't maintain it. So there is always an issue of compliance. One of my colleagues at Pakistan Institute of Management, he left Pakistan Institute of Management and joined Lloyd's and become a consultant. And then he was in UK and he was carrying out audit of UK firm. And somehow those audits were not successful. So I asked him that how did you manage to, a UK-based organization? So he told me that in developed countries, the organizations are so mature that you don't find any non-compliance there. So, but when you are implementing ISO 9000, it means you are investing in quality management, and the implementation of ISO 9000 quality management should reflect in the company's results. So their revenue should increase, their profitability should increase. And if their costs are not reducing and their revenue is not increasing, then there is no point in implementing ISO 9000. So there is a hierarchy of documents. You have the policy documents, the procedures, standard operating procedures, work instructions, guidelines. So you document all these, and then you make sure that things happen in accordance with the intent of the management in the shape of the documented management systems. Next slide, please. This is how Japanese implement quality management. They first lay a foundation with 5S. 5S is a combination of 7 S's, 5 S's. They have Seri, Seito, Seiso, Seikitsu, and Shitsuke. It's sorting, then arranging, then scrubbing or removing oil and dirt from place. So seri, seto, seso, these three activities they repeat again and again, which becomes seiketsu. So they institutionalize the system. So the workers, all the people, they are responsible for their own workplace, the cleanliness at their own workplace. And with this 5S, then the fifth S is standardization, implementing in the entire organization. Then suggestion schemes are introduced to involve people in the cause of the organization. So the basic idea is not cost elimination or cost cutting is not the main idea behind suggestion schemes. And the first first hurdle the organizations faced when they implemented suggestion scheme was that, people used to give suggestions about other people's workplaces. And, they used to fight crib a lot, and they used to, it created a lot of problems for the management. So, they made it mandatory that any suggestion coming from the worker should be based on his or her own workplace. And so they have a criteria. They, give incentives to the workers when they come up with good suggestions. And the quality control circles, they make presentations at different forums, how they have incorporated improvements in their own workplace for others to emulate and implement those improved benchmarks. And once the foundation is there, they take a lot of time in creating a foundation for quality management in the shape of 5S and suggestion schemes. And then they have quality control circles. They start working and they implement a total quality control system. Then they have total productive maintenance and just-in-time system, which is under which products or inventory moves just when it is required. It is very easy to say that, the inventory moves when it is required, but you need to have a great deal of confidence in your system. Then you can manage it. And organizations normally, they take, more than 5 years, sometimes 10 years to implement this just-in-time system. The Western production system is called enterprise resource management, where the production is scheduled. But in just-in-time, this is pull system is applied. The next process is your customer. So all the workers, they say that inspection is like planning for defects. So all the workers, they inspect their own work and they make sure that whatever they are doing, whatever they are giving to the next process, it complies with the requirements. So that is the most important thing. So this is how they develop their system, and it is more robust and comprehensive as compared to ISO systems. But now many organizations, they have ISO 9000 systems, because in small organizations where the number of people is not big, total quality management is difficult to implement. But ISO 9000 can be implemented very easily. But in medium-sized and large organizations, total quality management is more effective. And of course, ISO is also a very important quality management system. And now, they have integrated this quality management into ISO. So there is no gap in the communication. So this was the presentation. I tried to give you the main idea how these things are moving, the quality management systems. So if you have any questions, then we can have some interaction. So if you want to ask any question, please. I'm excited that, very well accomplished people are sitting and they have attended this brief webinar. And I recommend you ask question. So, Ma'am Farah, you have a question, please. Go ahead.
Thank you so much for such a precise presentation on such a big topic. But we were able to get to basic ideas. Of course, it's a very big topic, and we will need many, many other sections as well. My question is basically that nowadays in the world of AI, times of AI, so how do you see the future of this kind of education? And also, if some people are in this field, what is their future in terms of the use of AI in everything now? So,
Oh, thank you very much. It's a very, very good question. Even, in year 2000, we knew that the IT-based systems, they complement the total quality management. So total quality management and ISO 9000 is dependent on the IT or MIS systems. Not only that, more people, they can learn total quality management. The material is available everywhere, the books you can download. But, as far as the business organizations are concerned, they have now dashboard reporting systems. So the CEO gets the entire picture at real-time level. And this has been made possible by the latest IT systems. So, there is a new production system which is called there is a term used for a new system which was implemented in one of the organizations. I was providing consultancy service to a Japanese organization, and they were implementing that system in the sense that, when you receive an order and then you look at your inventory, how much inventory is available, and then you give order to your suppliers to complete that inventory. So it takes time. The lead time, there are 3 types of lead times. One is the procurement lead time, then the production lead time, and then the third one is the distribution lead time. And for any business organization, the cash conversion cycle is the most important thing. So now they have developed a system where the entire production plans are visible to all the suppliers. So whatever orders you receive, the suppliers automatically, they know how much inventory they have to give to the organization. So now within no time, that suppliers, they come to the organization and they say, okay, we can provide you with this. And since this information is available to all with these IT-based management systems are becoming more robust. This I can say, and I can say that quality management is dependent on these IT management systems because they provide certain tools which make life easier for managers to implement quality management.
Okay, thank you. Because recently I introduced in very small organization. I have a very, very small organization. So I didn't know this, but I introduced dashboard systems for accounts and finance and for clients and other things. Everything is on dashboard now. So we are just using dashboards, and that gives us a clear picture now where we are actually. So it's a real time, you can say, picture. And but I didn't know that this is something to do with the quality management or anything. But I find it very practical. and that's why I'm saying it here on this platform, that people, whoever they have, even if they have small organizations, they can also go for dashboards, and it's very easy to make a dashboard with ChatGPT. Also, if you have a basic Excel, you can do the ChatGPT and ask the ChatGPT to make a dashboard for you, and it's
Yeah.
done immediately. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Bakasab. It was really, really nice listening to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Actually, there is a principle of quality management which says factual decision making. So you need to make informed decisions all the time.
Yes,
And in order to make informed decisions, you need to have the picture, the big picture.
the big
So
picture.
at Fuji Foundation, we have about 6 of our companies are listed on Pakistan Stock Exchange. And when they are listed, they conduct their board meetings in every quarter to finalize their accounts, and then they make disclosures. So there are a good about 37 or 38 companies in Fuji Foundation portfolio. So we developed a dashboard for the MD of Fuji Foundation, in which from all the companies, their revenues and their cost and their strategic initiatives and exceptional reporting, these are all, in real-time basis, are available to the MD of Fuji Foundation. And in year 2020, this system was not in place. So what used to happen was, after 3 months, the companies, they used to hold the board meetings, and then in those board meetings, they used to tell management what were the problems they were facing. But in real-time basis, MD can give his valuable insights or advice in real-time basis. And then it puts a pressure on the entire organization, in the sense that they have to, not only give historical financials, but they also have to forecast for the future. And it puts a lot of, pressure on them to really perform. So it's a very good tool. And through these IT-based tools, the quality management becomes a much easier and has become more effective.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Well, Hashmi Saab, thank you. We're almost
Sir
at time.
Mumtaz,
So we will take one more question from Mumtaz, and then we will be wrapping up the session. Okay. Thank you.
Sir
All right, go
Mumtaz,
ahead.
please go ahead.
Yes.
Grateful, Ashmi Saab, presenting such a management system profile, having not only info but also a comprehensive practical steps prescribed by you in order to achieve milestone. There is a main source of improving system like KYC, briefly 3 C's.
Yeah. Know your customer,
Character,
KYC.
capacity, and creditworthiness. Yes, of course. Result 3 C's: character, capacity, and creditworthiness, which follow top management tier. Thanks.
Okay, I think
Thank you very much.
yeah, we're having different. So okay. Thank you, Dr. Waqar Hashmi, for a wonderful
It was a
presentation.
pleasure, sir.
And I really appreciate that you taking out the time from your busy schedule and doing this presentation. And we will have more of these coming up, so stay tuned on our social media channels. And we will see you next time. Well, thank you all for your participation and attending the seminar today. Appreciate all your time.
I'm excited about your next session, because Ma'am Sadia Kibriya will be there, and we are all waiting for that.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you all.
Thank
Have
you.
a good rest of the day.
Thank you very much.